Hi everyone, this is Nikki in Japan. Today I'm gonna do a reaction video on a YouTube video that I saw from one of my colleagues. So I was kind of surprised when I saw this video because he mentioned something about getting robbed in Japan. So it's very unlikely that a crime happens in Japan, although I know recently Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated in public during a speech he made in Nara City. So let's check out the video from my colleague. Alright, so I actually met Ario in one of my gigs when I was teaching English at Kyoto. And actually, 1 month ago, I saw this post of him. He mentioned that he was robbed in Japan and he was in shock. I mean, I would be shocked too if I am robbed in Japan. So let's watch this. All right, what's
I moved to
happening?
Japan, and something similar happened with another company here. And yeah, man, just be careful of Eikaiwa schools, man. Dodge. Once you're here, obviously you need to work anyway, so it's like you're trapped. I didn't even want to make
Okay, sorry.
anything. Like, I'm gonna get through it, and me and my other colleagues or ex-colleagues, we're gonna get through this, find something else, and it might, doors closed, windows open, all that stuff. Every cloud has a silver lining. This too shall pass. So onwards and upwards. But I just wanted to say that's what's going on in the Femi Smiles life. Just gotta stay strong. Obviously, mouths to feed and all that stuff. That just happened on Friday, payday. So there's no better time to join the old Patreon than now. That would be a real support. You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised that there are some Japanese companies who dodge paying their employees, especially if you're a part-time employee in Japan. Most companies assume that you don't have a right, or if you're a foreigner, most companies assume that you don't know the law, you don't know the rule, and you don't know how to ask help. But actually, I've done this a couple of times, and let me reiterate and let me share what happened to me. I think 2 years ago, I was a full-time employee at a company based in Kobe. Basically, there was like a harassment going on, and maybe my employer assumed that I don't know the law, or I don't know how to defend myself. But long story short, it was an ordeal that went on for a few months until I asked help from a consultant and a staff from from the labor bureau in Japan. So in Japan, there's actually a specific office designated to help foreigners dealing with labor problems, work problems, employer issues, employee problems. So I went to this office and they were very quick to help me. They offered me advice, and that was it. I was even able to ask for a settlement fee for the damages that occurred during that ordeal. And then recently, actually not recently, like 1 year ago, there was another company where I was working as a part-time employee that like I requested for my payslip, but for some reasons I don't know why they refused to provide my payslip. So I got this labor bureau involved again. I got this government office involved again, and like in a few days I got my payslip. So the reason why I've been requesting for the payslip is that if you're a freelance worker, a contractual worker, or a part-time employee in Japan, you have to file your taxes yourself. Or if even though you have a full-time job, and as long as you work as a part-time employee or a freelance employee, you should file your taxes yourself. So usually companies do not do this for part-time employees. So that's why I need to do my accounting by myself because I need to file taxes correctly. So that's why I've been requesting for the payslip. And yeah, as soon as I get the labor office involved, I got my payslip. And probably the most recent and the most exciting, maybe, um, of my cases is that there was this company where I worked as a part-time employee. Actually, the contract that I signed with them was a freelance contract. So I was working as a freelancer to them, and like every month when they send my salary, I honestly just don't check. I don't check how much I'm receiving. I don't double check because I trust the company would be sending me the correct amount. But like 6 months into work, I noticed that there was missing about 2000 yen per month. And I'm like, it was kind of like, is this like a technical error, a clerical error? Is this an honest mistake? Because I was missing about 2000 to 3000 yen per month. So that was going on for 6 months. And so what happened was I contacted my employer, I contacted the person preparing my salary to ask, like, why is there a discrepancy? I want to understand. Is my calculation wrong? Because I believe you are missing 2000 to 3000 yen per month. So I wanted to understand where the discrepancy is coming from. Long story short, this company, after like back and forth communication, they never explained to me where the missing 2000 yen or 3000 yen is. So like after a month, I decided I wanted to resign from this company because there's no point working with them if they're not paying me correctly anyway. And I also gave them like a few weeks to respond to me and explain before I go to the labor bureau. Um, I One thing I think that worked so well for me was that I saved everything, I recorded everything, I documented everything. So whenever I go to the labor bureau, I print out all the communication, all the documentation, and then I present it to them. So anyway, all of these are in English. So there are government offices in Japan, specifically for foreigners, and they have English staff. So that was very helpful. Um, so yeah, I just went to the labor bureau, presented them my case, and they helped me. And I was so surprised. Like within an hour after I went to the labor bureau, I received an email from the company telling me that we will get back to you and explain why there's a difference. But like I waited for another 1 week and I never heard from them. I went back to the labor bureau and then they told me that they're doing some investigation. So anyway, at the end of this, eventually after 2 weeks from the beginning, from the day that I went to the labor office to ask for help, I got paid. The company sent the discrepancy. Um, and I also found out that like the labor office kind of imposed some restriction on them. So that's justice served. So, if you're a foreigner living in Japan and if you experience problems with your employer, don't hesitate to go to the nearest labor bureau in your place. There's a lot of offices in Japan, and if there's no English staff to support you, because I can't speak Japanese, so I always ask, is there anyone like an English staff who can support me? I always ask for one, and there's at least one willing to provide help. So, yeah, guys, you're paying your taxes. I think the government of Japan would be happy serving you if you pay your taxes correctly and to impose these black companies to pay you your salaries because you worked hard for this. Just make sure that you have all the necessary documentation and, yeah, provide all of this to the labor office. So actually, guys, what I'll do next is show you which offices you have to go to. So usually I go to Hello Work. So just Google it, Hello Work. You'd see a lot of places where Hello Work is. Just type in Hello Work on Google and it will come out. So usually from Hello Work, there are some subsidiary like branch offices stemming out from there. I always begin my inquiry at Hello Work. From Hello Work, I ask, is there an English staff? And then I talk to the English staff and tell them the issues that I have. Usually there's like a designated office for a certain problem. So yeah. So basically, step one, go to Hello Work, ask them for help. So, like anything related to employment, everything related to work, go to Hello Work. So, yeah. If you do have questions about employer problems, like feel free to comment, feel free to reach out to me because I think for the past 2 years of my stay here, I've had a lot of like encounters, issues